What's up, guys? I'm Chris with A&W Homebuyers. Today I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about wholesaling houses and how you can get started. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have obviously heard about wholesaling houses, and if you're watching this video, then you're definitely wanting to know how you can how to get started wholesaling houses for yourself. Now, there's definitely a lot of people that are getting into wholesaling houses, but there is a lot of people that fail at wholesaling houses. And the reason for that is because a lot of people don't take the time to figure out the steps to be able to do it and, work the process. Because there's definitely a process to go from start to finish with wholesaling houses. Definitely gets a little bit easier the more you do it. But there's definitely a process, and especially when you're just getting started, you've definitely got to go to the beginning and kind of figure everything out for yourself. Now, when you take the time to learn the process and figure it all out the right way, then you can definitely make a great living with it. It can definitely either be a supplemental income, whether you're kind of doing it as a part-time thing, as a full-time thing. Just all depends. It can be a great thing for you if you let it. Um, else, learning the right process is just the beginning. It also takes a lot of hard work, dedication, determination. You've definitely got to be dedicated to it. It's not just something that you can start today, do a deal tomorrow, and then be the best at it. It's a process to learn it. It's a process to get your first deal. It's a process to get your next deal, and so on and so on. It's kind of something that you just got to dive in and get going with it to really learn everything. It's definitely a great thing once you do take the time and figure out the process and let the process work. So let's say you've done some research and you're willing to put in the hard work, and now you're ready to get started. The first thing you need to do in order to get started, you're definitely going to want to look for some motivated sellers. Um, Now, there's a few different ways to look for motivated sellers. There's a couple of different websites. You can purchase some lists. You can drive for dollars. You can do some marketing ads, maybe an ad on Facebook, ad on Google. There's a couple other ways. Some flyers going out to different areas. Like in your local grocery stores. Just something simple. We buy houses. Some bandit signs going around the area. We buy houses for cash, phone number. We buy houses, just phone number. There's a couple of different ways that you can do that. But bandit signs is definitely one of the great things. It's fairly cheap if you're just getting started. But the absolute best thing and best way to be able to find, motivated sellers, if you're on a budget, if you're just getting started, and if you just don't have a whole bunch of money, the number one way is definitely going to be to drive for dollars. Now, driving for dollars, you just basically drive around a neighborhood, look for some vacant properties, write down the address, mark it to the homeowner. Usually you get a lot of motivated sellers that way. I've been in business a little while now, and I still do this to this day. You can do it either on your way to your job that you're working now, on your way home, maybe as you're going out to dinner, on your way home for dinner, maybe as you're going to hang out with some friends, whatever the case is. You just drive through a neighborhood, see a property, jot the address down. It's usually fairly simple. It's cheap. It's cost effective. So basically, to kind of give you a better idea of step by step of what you're gonna want to do when you're driving for dollars, if you have no job right at the moment and you really want to dive into it, then one of the best things to do is to set out and map out an area, and then just execute that plan. Basically, what you're going to want to do, find the neighborhoods where there's more rental properties rather than homeowners. More landlords get burned out. They're tired of renters. They're tired of just dealing with rental properties and all. So usually they're a little bit more motivated to sell rather than a homeowner is. So that's usually what you want to do is look for your neighborhoods and areas where there's more renters than homeowners. And then what you want to do, you want to drive around them neighborhoods in those areas and look for houses that are vacant. Maybe the grass is overgrown, maybe the windows are boarded up, maybe there's some siding falling off, a gutter falling off, the mailbox might be overflowing with mail. There could be a sign on the door from the city, well, a letter on the door from the city. Whatever the case is, just something that caught your eye to say, hey, look, this property is vacant. No one's living here. No one's keeping the property up like they should be. Usually, it's either elderly. Owners are usually elderly. Maybe they live out of state. Maybe they just don't have the money to keep the property up or don't have the money for repairs. There's a number of different things on why somebody would just let a property go. Now, with us, with wholesaling, that's a really great invitation to be able to get in there, get the address, find it out who owns it, and ask them if they want to sell. And usually it turns into a motivated seller, which is great for us, and it gets you that much closer to the next deal. Now, there's a couple of different ways when you're driving around and you're looking for properties, when you're driving for dollars. Once you find the properties, there's a couple of different ways to keep track of that property. One of the ways is an app that's called Deal Driven. It's a great app. I personally don't use it, but I do have some buddies that do. They love it. I've used it kind of just sharing their thing because they were trying to get me to use it. Personally, I prefer more of an old school way of keeping track and just pen and paper is what I personally do. But everybody's got a preference. Now with the Deal Driven app, it's a great app. It keeps track of your route. You can kind of map out where you're going, or I'm sorry, where you've been. You can drop a pin on the property that you see that's vacant or that caught your eye with whatever problem it has going on. That way it keeps track of the property address. Now with the app, it usually gives you the owner's name, phone number, the owner's home address, which is always great. Now the app usually does cost, I think it's like $49.95, maybe $59.95 a month. I'm not too sure. But they do a free trial if I'm not mistaken, so you can definitely give it a try. See if it works for you. If it does, great. If not, no big deal. But it definitely is a great app if you're just getting started and you kind of want to keep track of where you've been and the all-in-one type of app, so to speak, to be able to find the owner's information, keep track of the property. Now, let's say that you just don't have the money each month. You just can't afford it. You're just getting started. That's no problem. There's another way, which is the more traditional way, which is the way I prefer personally. So basically, what you're gonna want to do, just drive for dollars. You find the property, pull out your handy pen and paper, write the property address down. Then what you're gonna want to do once you get home with that property address, all you do is you do your city's assessment website. If you're in bigger areas, 9 out of 10 of them have it. Just go on to the city assessment website, type in the property address. When you type in the property address, usually it pulls up the owner's phone number, or I'm sorry, not owner's phone number, the owner's name, I'm sorry, and usually the owner's home address. Now, with the home address, sometimes it's a hit or miss. Sometimes it has it, sometimes it doesn't. But it definitely gives you the homeowner's name. Um, Now, just by having the homeowner's name, that's great. So from there, what you can do, there's another free website that's called TruePeopleSearch.com. Now, first of all, there's a lot of websites that you can find the owner's information as far as contact information. There's a lot of different ones, been verified. There's a couple of different sites that are skip tracing sites that you can use. Now, like I said, we're trying to do this the most cost-effective way. Like I said, you're just getting started. You just don't have the funds to be able to pay for all those big websites, to be able to keep track of anything, or find the owner's information, which is no problem. Everybody starts somewhere. So basically, you get the owner's name or property address from Driving for Dollars. Get the owner's name from the city assessment website, and then you're going to want to go to truepeoplesearch.com. Type in the the home address, and once you type in the home address, you'll be able to pull up a list of all the people that's live at that property. Now, with that, you want to look for the homeowner's name. Once you find the homeowner's name, you want to click that. Usually it pulls up all the information that the site has on them. Usually it gives the last few phone numbers that are last known few phone numbers. Usually it'll give the last couple of emails, the last homeowner address that's on file for them. Um, which is great because, like I said, with all that information, now you're set up to be able to market to the homeowner and ask them if they're ready to sell their property or whatever the case is with it. So once you have all of that information, what you're gonna want to do, you can either send out a postcard. You can text message them. You can email them. You can cold call them. Now, what I personally like to do, it doesn't cost anything. I usually like to send out a text message. Just a hey, real quick, hey, I was in the area. I drove past your property at 123 Main Street. I was just wondering if you might be interested in selling. Usually I'll follow that up with maybe a phone call within the next day or so, and just ask them, hey, my name's Chris, A&W Home Buyers. I was in the area, came across your property at 123 Main Street. I was just wondering if you'd be interested in accepting a cash offer for the property. Now, usually the upside that we have for Driving for Dollars is there's problems with the property. So 9 out of 10 people are going to be motivated to sell. Um, they definitely want to get rid of it. Right now, it's just costing them money. So 9 out of 10 of them will want to sell. Now, once you get them on the phone, you're gonna want to keep them talking. Find out any known repairs that need to be done. Because obviously you can't see the inside. All you can see is the outside from driving by. Maybe what the inside condition is. How many bedrooms, baths, square foot. When's the last time it had a tenant in it, or last time it was lived in. Just get a little bit of information, get them talking about it. Usually they'll give you a story, about how they used to live there, or how they bought it as a rental property, or, whatever the case is, but you want to seem interested. You want to seem like you care. You definitely don't want to just get on the phone with them and act like you don't care at all. The big thing with wholesaling is we're providing a solution to a problem. Or I'm sorry, yeah, a solution to a problem. We're fixing something that is wrong. In this case, the thing that's wrong is they have a property sitting there that's getting nothing done to it. It's just costing them money, each year on taxes, or if they still have a mortgage on it, it's just costing them money for, the mortgage each month, whatever the case is. And the fix to it is we're here. We can offer them a solution to get rid of the property. We can give them a cash price, or a cash offer. We can close on it, 10, 15, 20, 30 days, whatever the case is. So that always works out for them because they can get cash really fast. A lot of people want to sell their property but don't know where to start. So by you contacting them, that's definitely a great step for them. Now, when you're marketing to them on the phone, on the text messages, especially, you can't get deterred. You're definitely going to hear a lot of no's. Now, you don't want to let them bother you. Usually they'll say, hey, how'd you get my number? Um, who are you? Whatever the case is. If they say, hey, how'd you get my number? I'm sorry, I'm a local investor in the area. I just seen the property. I looked you up online on public records, got your number, just figured I'd shoot you a call and just see if maybe you'd be willing to accept an offer. Just keep it polite, keep it simple, and just keep the conversation going. And if they say no, then no sweat, hang up, dial the next one. And that's just how this game works when you're marketing to the sellers. It's kind of law of averages, so to speak. You call so many people. You call 10 people, at least one of those, or 100 people. I'm sorry. You call 100 people, at least 1 to 5 of those are gonna be interested and want to get an offer. So it's all of averages, so to speak. With sending postcards, that's a great way to market to people, but it's a little bit more costly, because you send out all these postcards, and yeah, it works, but you don't, in my opinion. Now, there are some people that love it, some people that swear by it, some people that's all the marketing they do. It does get the phones ringing sometimes, but in my opinion, it's a waste of time to me. I don't like it. To me, it's just a waste of money. You pay for the cards, the postcards. You gotta pay to send them. Now there are sites that you can use that'll take care of all that. But there again, you're still paying for each postcard that you send out. It's not very expensive, but personally, I don't like to do it. There are people that swear by it, like I said, and there are people that do it. Personally, like I said before, I prefer just a simple text and a follow up by a phone call. That's more effective for me. It's just the way I like to do. Um, but with the postcards, it's great because you can send out the postcard, and then they definitely give you a call if they're interested. And usually if they're not interested, they'll throw it away, and you don't have to hear how'd you get my number, or why are you contacting me, or whatever the case is. But that's not always great. When you send out a postcard, it takes a day or two to get to them, sometimes longer. So, you send out a postcard this week, you won't get a response till next week usually. But, it does have its upsides. Like, you send out a postcard, maybe they're not interested right at the moment. But what they do is they store the postcard, they save it. Maybe a few months from now, they're interested in selling, they're looking for somebody to buy their property and say, hey, something goes off in their head, say, hey, I got a postcard from somebody a couple of months ago that was interested. They said they'll buy, a cash offer, whatever the case is. So they'll go in, they'll find that postcard, then they'll give you a call and say, hey, are you still interested in the property? You say, of course, yeah, I'll give you a cash offer. Get them talking about the property, get some information, whatever the case is. So that is the upside to it. Now, that's another thing why you want to be polite to everybody that you do contact, because maybe they're not interested in selling right now. But, a lot of people like to know people. So, maybe they're not interested right this second, but a lot of people will save the information. I can't count the number of times I've talked to somebody today. They'll say, look, I'm not interested. I just don't want to sell right now. Then, 3, 4 months later, they're calling me up, hey, you still interested in this property? And of course, yeah, when can you meet me there? We'll set the appointment. Usually I'll give them the offer, and it's either going to get accepted or it's not, and you can't dwell on something. Um, you know, the prices that we have to get, the deep discounts we do with wholesaling, it's not for everybody. Now the a property might be worth 100,000. If we offer 70 or 80,000, it just some people might not like it. They might say, okay, well our property's worth 100,000. Yeah, but we're offering you a cash price. We're offering you a way out, no repairs, no realtor fees, no waiting, cash in your bank within 30 days. And a lot of times it's a lot sooner than 30 days. But I personally always say 30 days, just giving myself some time, just in case, the inspection doesn't go right, or something happens with the paperwork, at closing. Maybe the closing attorney's just busy, whatever the case is. I always personally say 30 days. just to give myself some time so I don't have the seller getting mad saying, hey, well, you told me 10 days. Well, hey, I told you 30 days, and, I don't have to worry about any of that. So that's always something to keep in mind as well. And then basically what you do, you just go down the list. Once you've called everybody, you're just definitely going to want to keep properties coming in. So, like I said, as you're driving around every day, just, keep your eyes peeled. You might just be on your way to work or on your way out to the store to pick something up. And, you might see something that you've never paid attention to before. You might see the property that's kind of off in the back. Maybe, it's grass so tall you can't even see the property. I've seen a lot of them. There's a lot of different things, but just keep your eyes open. Keep a pen, keep some paper with you at all times. That way you can always jot down the address. So that's always something that you're definitely going to want to keep in mind. And then basically, once you've done your first list from Driving for Dollars, or even your second or third list from Driving for Dollars, whatever the case is, just start the whole process over. Go out, find a route that you want to do, find a neighborhood that you want to go through. Just always remember, you're definitely going to want to go where there's more renters rather than homeowners. Drive it, find the properties, write them down, city assessment, go to get the owner's name, go from there, go back to the True People search, find out the owner's phone number, email, home address, and then market to them again. Call them, email, text, postcard, whatever you prefer, whatever you decide is going to be best and most cost effective for you. Then from there, so let's say that you get a property, owner. He say, yeah, I'm interested in selling. I'd like to get rid of it. What can you offer? So basically, what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna want to say, okay, well, can you give me some information about the property? And then from there, you want to find your ARV, which is after repair value. Work your numbers, get them an offer. So let's say that you get them an offer. The seller says, okay. So for example, say you offer 50,000. The seller says, okay. I can accept 50,000. So from that 50,000, what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna just get a simple purchase agreement, just basically saying, hey, look, I'm buying your property. I definitely want it. I'm gonna close on it. And then from there, once you've got that purchase agreement with the seller, you're going to want to find your end buyer. Once you find your end buyer, you're going to want to take that and get another assignment contract done with the end buyer. That's just basically assigning the contract that you have with the seller to the end buyer and giving the end buyer permission and legal right to actually close on the property. He's basically stepping in, taking over your rights to the contract and your rights to the property, and basically saying that he's going to be responsible for closing on it. Once that assignment contract gets done with the end buyer, you're going to want to go to closing. Now, us being wholesalers, we personally don't have to go into closing. Usually it's just the seller and the end buyer. Now, you can go. You don't have to, though. Usually I don't. Usually I don't go at all. I send everything to the the closing attorney. The seller will go in, sign the papers. The end buyer will go in, sign the papers, and the end buyer will bring all the money to fund the deal. So once the end buyer goes in, he'll sign all the papers, and he'll bring the money. The closing attorney will then pay the seller once the seller gets the money. So say with the end buyer, you sold it to him for 60,000. So once that end buyer brings the 60,000 in, the closing attorney will say, okay, Mr. Seller, here's your 50,000. Then we'll give you a call and say, hey, look, I've got your check here for 10,000. It's ready to go whenever you are. Then basically you just go in, pick up the check from the closing attorney, cash the check, on to the next one. Short, simple, it's fairly easy, but like I said, it is a process. It does take determination and dedication. It's not something that you can pick up today, get a deal tomorrow, and be a complete rock star. Now some people do pick up quicker than others. And I'm not saying that you can't get a deal tomorrow. Now, if you really dive in and you're really motivated and you really just want to go full force at it, it is possible to get a deal by tomorrow or the next day. Now, I'm not saying it's not. It doesn't happen often, but it is possible. It's just all on you and how much you want to put into it and how much effort, and it's just all on you. It is basically simple in a sense to wholesale houses, but it's definitely not easy. Just basically you just want to keep learning, keep looking up different videos, keep doing your research. Definitely arm yourself with as much knowledge as possible. That way you can dive in and really get to it. It's simple, but it's not at the same time. It's just a lot of hard work and determination, and it'll get you there. So that's going to wrap up our video for today. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope it was helpful to you. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment, and tune in tomorrow, and we will be talking about how to find the ARV, which is after repair value of the property, and how to, I'm basically going to give you the formula to be able to get your offer to the homeowner to be able to buy the property. So please tune in again, and like I said, if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and comment.